DEBx, amplifying voices, accelerating change.
Please help me welcome to the DEBx stage, Cara Smith.
Is there a doctor in the house? Nobody. Okay. I know that's a corny question. But look, every single person in this audience could have raised your hand when I asked it. And this is why. The word docio means I teach. It is from the Latin word for doctor or teacher. Over time, the meaning of the word changed to refer to medical professionals. With this in mind, here is my story. 3 years ago, my mother passed away. 2 months after that, my car was rear-ended and I injured my back. That was when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and arthritis. It was really a low point in my life, and I couldn't get a job and ran out of money and got evicted. Then the man I was in love with broke up with me. And fortunately, not too long afterwards, I got back on my feet and was head down working, and I ate to ease my stress. As I worked and rebuilt my life, the Jack in the Box up the street became my regular go-to for daily sustenance. I'd have a breakfast burrito in the morning before work and then go back in the evening for a quick dinner. The rationalization was, I'm not eating lunch, so I'm not getting too many calories, and I'm saving money because I have a coupon. About 3 months ago, I went to the doctor for a checkup, and I weighed in at 217 pounds. And then I was also diagnosed with arthritis, obesity, and prediabetes. I remember thinking, well, I'm still pretty good. I don't have diabetes or cancer. Seriously. I rationalized that because I didn't have a critical illness, that I was doing okay. Then I started bleeding. At 56 years old, every 8 to 10 days, I was having what seemed like a full-blown menstrual cycle for 3 days. So clearly, something was wrong. Now, I went to the OBGYN, and she told me that I had several fibroids in my uterus, and I needed to have a hysterectomy. I felt like I'd gotten kicked in my stomach. I wanted to keep my uterus. I was using it. After the initial shock wore off, I thought, why do I have to get rid of my uterus when all we want to do is get rid of a few fibroids? That's when I thought of my dad. My father was a Tuskegee Airman. He was the first person in his family to go to college, and he was also a fine artist, videographer, and college professor at the oldest black university in the country. He was really funny and always kept me laughing. I really loved my dad. In 1968, when my father was 42 years old and I was 6, he was diagnosed with glaucoma, and his doctor told him that he would be blind within 6 years. I'll never forget watching my father sitting at the table with me and my mom and sobbing, talking about what his life would be like when he went blind and he wasn't able to paint or draw anymore. But mostly, I remember him declaring that there was no way in the world he wasn't going to see his little girl grow up. For the next 43 years, I watched him research his condition. He stayed in constant contact with his doctor and committed himself to a plant-based diet. My dad used to love steak, and he stopped eating meat altogether and stopped eating processed sugar and wheat and dairy products. What he did eat was a lot of fruit and vegetables and fish. When my dad passed away 5 years ago, he was 84 years old. At the time of his death, he had lost his sight in his right eye, so his depth perception was off. But he never went blind. 42 years later, my dad still had his sight. My father was a brilliant teacher. He taught me the value of educating myself and working in partnership with my doctors. Now, the fibroids that I had were about 4.5 inches long and 3.5 ounces. That's about the same size as an Egg McMuffin. So maybe the processed food I was eating had something to do with the Egg McMuffin in my uterus. Do you have a friend that when they suggest that you do something and you do it, your life just alters? Yeah? Well, one of my friends like that is Dr. Caroline Skrdla. And she, so I called her, and now Dr. Skrdla is not a medical doctor. She has her doctorate in education. She suggested that I read the book, The Medical Medium, and that a friend of hers had used the diet in that book to rid herself of fibroids. So immediately, I purchased the book. Medical Medium. And in it, the author, Anthony William, writes about the medicinal value of eating fruits and vegetables and stresses drinking at least 20 ounces of celery juice a day, which I immediately started doing. And I read about other natural remedies and took CBD oil twice a day and massaged my abdomen with essential oils. Now, you may be a little skeptical and thinking something like, yeah, but that's not really medicine. This year, Harvard Medical School published a guide entitled Managing Fibroids. In it, they said, research also suggests that eating plenty of green vegetables may be protective against fibroids. Aiming to eat more greens is really good advice for anyone. Adapting to a healthy diet, one rich in fruits and vegetables, lean meats, healthy fats, and whole grains, can also help you to reduce factors linked with higher risk of fibroids, such as obesity and high blood pressure. Managing stress should also be a priority. Keeping stress under control may make your fibroid symptoms more manageable. The Harvard Medical School also talks about the health benefits of CBD oil. CBD is commonly used to address anxiety and may offer an option for treating different types of chronic pain. CBD, when applied to the skin, could help back pain and arthritis. 2 months after shifting my diet, one morning I realized that I had not bled in 12 days. I bent down to touch my toes and didn't have the shooting pain in my abdomen that I had been dealing with. My fibroids are in the process of shrinking. Now, this is not a quick fix. As of today, I've lost 33 pounds and am pain-free and doing things I love, like running up and down the Vegas Strip with millennials. I also added some things to my life to keep myself accountable to the commitment I have for good health. I started a health and wellness business with my family, and I'm developing a team to develop their own businesses. And now I'm talking to you. By sharing my experiences here with you, I am a teacher. Let me be perfectly clear. I have a master's degree in media studies. I am not a medical doctor. I am not saying that what I'm doing will cure or do the same thing for you. I am hoping, though, that you live here curious to learn something that you hadn't thought about before. Based on the ancient root of the word, We are all doctors. The doctor is in. Thank you.